And Amit Mahajan, Director of Technical and R&D, Paras Defense and Space Technologies, joins us on the show. Amit, good having you. Thanks for joining in. Good afternoon. And while it's been a year which has been, well, from the promise that you give, maybe a bit flattish, 10% growth. It's Q4 which is intriguing because you've shown, let's say, growth to an extent on the top line. Not that great, but there. But the margin squeeze has been very, very sharp. Now, what's led to this, Amit?
Firstly, good afternoon, and thank you for your analysis is absolutely correct. All the reasons for this, I would like to mention it very starkly, is all positive reasons. Why? One is the defense engineering, if you see, has outperformed themselves. There are two verticals: optics, optronic systems, and defense engineering. So defense engineering has taken 73% on our revenues, wherein optics and optronic systems have gone down to 23. The primary reason for this is one particular product, which is a very high value product, which was supposed to go in Q4, will now go in Q1 of this year. Now, this shift has hampered the revenue, the total revenue, also the revenue percentages, and also profitability, because that is optics and optronic systems contribute largely to my problem. So that is the reason why I say it's positive, because if you ask me, defense engineering team, they are rejoicing because they have outperformed. They've done much better than the last year. The second reason for slightly lower profitability is because there are two. One is we have augmented our employees. The employee cost would have gone 30% higher than that you can see in the balance sheet. The second is the anti-drone systems subsidiary of ours. We've invested heavily in the R&D part. They're coming out with some wonderful products. All of the revenues we'll be able to see in the coming year onwards. But till last year, all that we've invested just is like a loss, and those loss gets carry forward to the parent company. And hence in console, you will see a lot of loss effect of the subsidiaries where the expense is happening on the R&D, but the revenues aren't being done. So I consider all of this as positive effect. You will be able to see the positive effect and the positive results in the coming days.
Amit, okay, and thanks for that clarification. Just a couple, some questions out there. This is Neeraj here, of course, with me, my colleague Harsh. But when I look at what you've done, not just in Q4, so first question, are you saying that because this didn't get executed in Q4 but will get executed in Q1, operational metrics or margins could revert to much higher numbers than the 20% for the quarter? Part two of my question is that when I look at the last 2 or 3 years, right, your operational margins have dipped from circa 30 odd to circa 20 odd. Do you envisage margins going back to those levels, or that may not be the case?
Okay, so the dip has only been in the last year. If you see the last couple of years, we've kind of sustained our margins. I would also want to mention that the sustenance of margin also, if you ask me, is on the conservative side. Leave aside the dip. The dip is not envisaged at all. But the events, like I told you, they affect the margins. When I'm saying this, in the coming year, I will not only sustain the old margins, but I might slightly do better.
You mean 30% level, ballpark?
Between 28 to 30%.
Between 28 to 30%. Okay, and you believe that for the year at large, you could be between 28 to 30%? Starting from Q1?
Do not look at us as quarter company.
Got it. Yeah, of course. But I'm just trying to understand.
Very, very good. Q1 looks very, very good. But I don't know how the remaining 3 quarters
are. Okay. But on an average, you say between 28 to 30%. Okay.
All right. Okay. So, Amit, could you just give us a perspective on optics versus defense? What are the margins like for each of those?
Defense trades at a margin of 20%, 15-20%, and optics trades at a margin of 30+%.
So understood. And with this new vertical of, and possibly it's part of defense itself, drone, what kind of margins and what kind of contribution will it have to revenue going forward?
So the drone and the anti-drone, these are two subsidiaries of the company, and they independently operate. The drone market, yes, is having a good set of margins somewhere between the optics and the electronics vertical. The anti-drone system, when it starts kicking up, it will come closer to the optics margins because they are highly valued, quite complex products, but very good margins.
Okay, okay. And what's your what's the visibility like going forward in terms of opportunities and order wins and the book that you currently have, just in terms of size?
So if you look at Paras has been blessed with the solid order book, and the smiles on my face, and I want people to draw positivity out of this is the company has strong order book, has a funnel which is in excess of 2,000 crores. And when I'm seeing strong order book, it is in excess of 600 crores already. I'm not even counting the orders which are L1 and they are in the pipeline, they are yet to come. I'm not even talking about that. So the business front is very, very strong. Yes, we are going from component business to a product business. This leads to a higher value per product. And if that product, for some reason, which is not within the control of us or our customers, some third party reasons, this can just they don't know what a quarter means, right? So this can go from Q4 to Q1, and that can have this effect. We need to wait till it settles down, but the coming year looks good.
Understood. So let's look at it annually. What's the kind of compounded growth you're looking at, because you've got such good visibility in terms of the order book? What's the growth like in terms of compounded growth over the next 1 to 2 years that one can expect?
I am going to be very, very conservative because I have not done what I should have been doing for the last 2 years, right? So I will still maintain 20 to 30% as growth. Even if I say 30%, it's still going to be conservative. So 20 to 30% is the growth that I want to give a guidance of. But picture abhi baki hai mere dost.
Understood. And optics versus defense, what's the mix like in terms of order book mix? If you can quickly.
Order book 50. Order book is 50-50.
Understood.
And
understood.
Yes, orders are yet to come in, which we expect to come anytime in this financial year. So the order book shall go slightly inclined towards optics as the year progresses.
Okay. So,
Amit, one final question from my end. What else is happening? Because you've spoken about anti-drone and drone systems for the last 12, 18 months. They have now come to fruition. What else is in the offing? Something that you can disclose which could be a big part of what Paras will do over the next 18 to 24 months?
I wouldn't say 18 to 24 months. Yes, we've brewed the coffee long enough for it to now, it's the time for us to sip. But if you take me beyond, say, 36 months, if you look at the Quantico Technologies, a subsidiary, 100% owned subsidiary of Paras, which we have formed recently, if you look at that, then quantum communication is one area that Paras will be entering to in the near future. That is going to take Paras Defense over and beyond that we have ever thought ourselves to be. So this is going to be the game changer for the company. Along with that, the JV that we have with Contro, which is a EOIR, world's #1 EOIR company, this will start making good inroads into the Indian business. In the coming future, you will be able to notice that this particular JV will back some real nice good orders. And obviously, a large sum of that business will be flowed back to Paras Defense because Paras Defense will contribute to the indigenous content of whatever Contro Paras does. So it's a good amount of mix that we are looking at, and this will propel the company into a solid EOIR company, one, and second, it will also propel us into quantum communication domain where you won't find many people around the globe.
Well, we wish you all the best for that, all the process per se, and maybe in a couple of years' time, we'll be able to maybe talk about numbers too, who knows. You said 36 months, let's hope it's sooner. Thanks a lot, Amit, for joining in today and giving us the perspective.